Yes, hello everyone. Greg Driscoll here, Instanet Solutions, as part of our DocBox Pro How Do I series. This segment, how do I create a transaction template? So from our DocBox Pro homepage, the homepage associated with our DocBox Pro account, we're going to the Settings tab. The Settings tab, top right corner, third tab in from the left, Settings, clicking on Settings. We'll go to our Settings tab where we can create these personal items within our DocBox Pro account. Dead center here, transaction templates. Use to create transaction templates. Transaction templates allow you to quickly and easily start new populated transactions. I'm going to click here on Continue. By populate, we mean that you can start your new transaction files from templates. These templates include forms and documents, contacts, other very standard or core items for your new transaction file. So let's first look at a template. I click here on the new buyer template and we'll see the detail that we added to our transaction template. We added forms to our transaction template, the forms that we would need when we were starting a new file for a new buyer. This is our new buyer template. These are the forms that we will require when we're starting new buyer representation, purchase and sale contracts, and so forth. We added some documents, some standard office documents or disclosures or home service warranty applications, any other non-forms that you want to add into your transaction file. We also added some default contact types. These are all elements of our transaction template. When we start a new transaction file from this template, this detail will be automatically added in. In addition to the forms, these forms are pre-filled with standard clauses, standard checkboxes, standard or core elements of that transaction type for that transaction type to be able to reduce the amount of time, energy, and effort when starting new files. This detail will be automatically included. So how do we start a new transaction template? So from our transaction templates screen, Settings tab, transaction templates, I would like to create a new transaction template. I'm going to click on the Go arrow. Clicking on the Go arrow, we're going to start a new transaction template. And it looks very similar to starting a new transaction file. So we'll first give this transaction a name. We're going to name this template so that we can identify it or recognize it from any other template within our DocBox Pro account. We'll do a new single-family residential listing packet. That will be the name of our template. So when we have that new seller prospect, that new single-family residential seller prospect, we can start our new file with this template. Let's attach this, or at least select the transaction type of residential listing. Scrolling down, you'll see we're going to use the transaction wizard to start our new file, to walk through the steps of adding this detail to our new transaction file. We're going to use the wizard. We're going to click here to Add Template. Clicking on Add Our Template, we're going to walk through the wizard and add any core or standard detail to our new transaction files. If you do not benefit from an MLS integration, if you cannot import property data into your transaction files, I would recommend adding in that city information, the state information. So let's just put an example, Austin, Texas. Add in the detail that would be routinely the same. You may not work in the same city all the time, but maybe you work in the same county. Add the detail that's going to be the same every time you start a new file of that type. Go through the steps. Clicking on Next, we're going to walk through the steps of the wizard. Are there contacts or participants to our new template? I would say yes, there is. I'm going to click here, Add a new transaction contact. Click on the Go arrow. We will add a seller contact. Anytime we have cause to start a new listing transaction file, we're going to hopefully have a new seller contact. Or we're going to add placeholder here into that contact name. And we're going to save that contact information. So now, when we start a new transaction file from this template, a seller contact placeholder will be automatically added in. We can update that placeholder value with our client-specific information in our new transaction file. Clicking on Next, we're going to add some forms. It looks like I had some forms attached to our residential listing transaction type, but again, I would like to add new forms. Clicking on Go. If you access this page and have no forms, you can access your forms library. You can select the appropriate forms and contracts, the standard forms and contracts, the required forms and contracts. Each time you have a new residential single-family listing, you're going to require that form. Add the forms that you require to execute that listing agreement. Pressing and holding the Control key will allow us to select multiple forms from the list. We want to add selected forms to the transaction. Adding these forms to our transaction file will automatically include these forms when we start our new file from this template. Clicking on Next, quickly going through, here's where DocBox Pro allows us to upload documents to our online transaction file, home service warranties, other standard disclosures that the office requires. Any non-form that the office requires can be uploaded in to your transaction template. I would like to add DocBox document. Clicking on the Go arrow, we will access our Upload Manager. We can import documents from our DocBox from other transaction files. We can upload them in from our Transaction Manager. We can fax in documents to our template. So let's choose this. We will import this sample HUD document from a transaction file into our template. Each time we have a new template or starting a new transaction file, we want to include this online document so that our client can be familiar with documents that they will receive going forward. Whatever documents that you would benefit from delivering to your clients, your new clients, you can add them in to your template. We're going to save and exit from this template. We've now created our new single-family residential listing packet. We can start our new files from this template and have the data we added automatically included. Another step I would like to show, I would like to highlight, clicking here on single-family residential listing packet. We just created this packet, the forms that we added in, the documents that we added, the placeholder value for our contact information. I also want to highlight and encourage and emphasize that you can add form level detail. So clicking here on the exclusive right to sell, clicking on that form name, we're going to launch that form in Forms Edit mode. Because part of the features or benefits of working with transaction templates is the opportunity to pre-fill your forms with standard or customary detail. Those standard or customary checkboxes, those standard clauses or provisions, those standard items within your online forms and contracts. We can preset or pre-fill our forms with this standard information so that when we start our new files from this template, this pre-filled information will be automatically added in. So not only will we benefit from autofill, we'll also benefit from pre-fill. So what detail would be customary on a listing agreement? We're going to go through and select those items. Client information, property information would not be, but perhaps compensation would be 6% or some other value, whichever is greater. Again, you're going these are items that are going to be standard for the majority of your listing agreements. That 60-day protection period, go through, pre-fill your fields, pre-select your checkboxes for these standard information. Create form templates within your transaction templates. Save the changes that you make. Save your changes. Save your changes. Exit from the form editor. Go through the forms that you add to your transaction template. Pre-fill them with standard or customary contract information. With that said, I want to thank you for joining me for this segment of our DocBox Pro How Do I series, How Do I Create a Transaction Template? And until we webinar again, I hope you have a tremendous, tremendous day.